Hello, everyone. Today, we're talking about Classic Plus. Everyone has their own idea of what it should be, but for me, it comes down to this. How do we keep Classic authentic, but still fresh enough to last for years? So, from what we know, Blizzard hasn't officially announced Classic Plus, but after Season of Discovery and recent surveys, it feels like something is definitely in the works. And for the community, it's divided. Some people want massive new systems, others want absolutely no changes. Me, I think the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle, small but meaningful talent tweaks, smoother rotations, and expanding the world of Azeroth. Not by creating new continents, but by finishing what was already there. So let's talk about the state of Classic right now. So let's just be real for a second. Classic WoW is amazing, but as of right now, it has its issues, right? Some classes are gods, and others are jokes. Once you've cleared the raids, there's not much left to do except farm gold or PvP. And leveling is incredible the first time, but it's really repetitive after your third or fourth character. So Classic Plus has to solve two major problems, in my opinion, which is number one, how do we make the gameplay loop more fun? And number two, how do we give players a new reason to explore Azeroth again? And I'd like to take some time to discuss talent tweaks and class design as well. I think this is one of my biggest focus right now. I don't want Blizzard to reinvent the wheel, but I want them to polish it. Think about the talent trees in vanilla. A lot of them have entire sections that nobody ever touches. They're traps or just flat out useless. What if Blizzard cleaned up those? Like, imagine if balanced druids just had enough mana regen to actually sustain damage in a raid without turning into like some sort of an arcane mage, or if a feral druid had energy smoothing so you weren't constantly praying to RNG or you had to wear a level 42 blue helmet. Or, paladins. Retribution spec is a meme. But what if they made like seal twisting, it was built into the tree in a way that made it rewarding instead of clunky? Or shamans. Enhancement is basically, auto attack and pray for wind fury. What if we had small talents that encourage using more abilities instead of just waiting for procs? And, just to name another class as well, warlocks, has huge mana problems, to make sustained DPS impossible almost. A slight tweak to efficiently could, make them far more engaging without breaking them as well. And there's many more classes and talent reworks you could do, but these are just some examples. And I think the most important part, none of these changes need to turn Classic into retail. It's not about giving everyone flashy rotations with 15 abilities. It's about taking the existing design and making it feel more complete, more satisfying. We all know that Classic combat is slow, and honestly, it's the part of its charm. But there's a difference between slow and boring. So, what if Classic Plus just nudged rotation towards being slightly more engaging? Like maybe warriors used more than two buttons in raid, maybe shadow priests have a little more variety than just mindflay spam, and maybe mages have some interesting cooldowns that matter outside of spamming frostbolt. Again, not retail level complexity, not three action bars full of abilities, just enough to keep you awake, to make every pull interesting while still keeping that classic pacing. And there's another thing I want to talk about as well. It's about expanding instead of making new continents. And this is the part I'm really excited about. So Azeroth already has so many locked gates, empty zones, and mysterious areas that were never fully developed. Classic Plus could finally bring those to life as well. There's Karazhan Crypts. It's one of the creepiest unfinished areas in the game. It's perfect for a dungeon or a raid. And there's like Mount Hyjal, it's already in the game files. You can explore it with exploits, but why not just turn it into real endgame content? There's others examples such as Gilneas and Emerald Dream. And it doesn't have to, You don't need to make giant new continents. Just expanding what we already have makes Azeroth feel fresh again. That means more quest lines, more dungeons, more world events tied to the lore. The key is here is you don't change Azeroth, you finish Azeroth. And authenticity versus change is a thing as well. So here's what I feel like it's a bit of tension, right? How much change is too much? So if Blizzard adds too much, we risk losing what makes classic, classic. But if they add too little, people will get bored and leave. So for me, the answer is keep the soul intact, keep the grind, keep the community, the slower pace, but fix the dead talents, polish the rotations, and add new content inside Azeroth. I think that's the balance we're looking for. And I'd like to talk about the lead angle as well. So now there's another layer to this. Blizzard recently went off their private server called Turtle WoW for doing their own version of Classic Plus. This shows us two things. That Blizzard definitely wants their own Classic Plus idea, and there's clearly a demand of it. Otherwise, these servers wouldn't even exist. So maybe Blizzard is finally ready to deliver their own official version, and honestly, that could be a good thing, as long as they respect the spirit of Vanilla WoW. And there's also a lot of community questions, so I would like to throw some questions at you. And this is, should Blizzard polish talent, or should they keep them frozen like they were in 2004? Should new zones open up in Azeroth, or should we never expand beyond that vanilla we launched with? Would you accept new dungeons and raids if they were built in, content areas like Karazhan Crypts or Gilneas? And finally, what makes more important, keeping Classic authentic or keeping it alive? For me, Classic Plus should be about refinement, not reinvention. Talent tweaks, smooth rotations, and finishing Azeroth forgotten corners. That is all it needs to become to be the best version of Classic, in my opinion. So I'd like to hear your vision of what Classic Plus, could be, or what you want it to be. So drop a comment below, hit that like if you enjoyed this discussion. Subscribe for more Classic WoW content. And by the way, I'm live at twitch.tv/bajan2k 5 days a week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Azeroth.